Hey everyone. So today I'm going to explain why I believe college athletes should be paid. But to start things off, I'm actually going to start with the opposing viewpoint that many people usually have when about this topic in general. So first off is believe that colleges do not have the funds to actually pay the athletes for their services. Um, and I just think this is not true. So let's just look at coaches, right? Coaches get paid a ton of money, and we're talking millions of dollars for a coach here. So let's take Nick Saban, for example. He's the head coach for the Alabama football team, and he gets paid over $7 million a year to be a head coach. Now, uh, I hate to include math in a speech because that's not the most entertaining thing ever, but I did some quick math here. So let's say a player is only going to get paid for games, that in $12 per hour. So a game minimum is usually about 3 hours long. So that's $36 per game. And to pay the maximum amount of players on a team, which is 125, that's probably highballing it because usually there's not that many people on the team anyway. But that's just the max amount that could be on a team. So to pay that max amount per game, it would be about $4,500. And then if you multiply that by 12 games in a season, that is $54,000 paid to all players per year. Now, compared to Nick Saban's $7 million a year, that's really nothing. And yeah, like that was all load ball statistics there. You could increase the dollar amount per hour. I just kind of did something off the top of my head just to kind of see what it would look like in a way. So the low ball would be 3 hours per game. I forget exactly what team it was, but there was a team that averaged 4 hour long games all year long. Um, and then, like I said, you can increase the $12 per hour and they would get paid even more. So, in essence, I think they would have the money to pay players. $54,000, well, really, $36 a game isn't really that much. So they probably would increase that. If this was to ever be a thing, they would probably increase that amount. It's $36 a week, basically, is not very much at all. So, like I said, Nick Saban, for example, gets paid $7 million a year. Granted, he's the best coach in college football. I understand. But $7 million is a lot. You could take $1 million of his dollars away, give him $6 million per year, and pay your players a lot more just to play. So, like I said, I think in reality they could pay the athletes. So that kind of trumps the statement that people were coming up with, like, oh, they don't have the money to pay the players. I think they do. So the other main point is the reason why they don't think they should get paid is because they get scholarships, so that's pay enough. Um, I get that. I really do. Scholarships are obviously a great thing, and I understand it. But like plain and simple, I think they need money for other things. I mean, this is normal. This is real life. You know what I mean? Like you need money for things. Um, so I definitely think they should get paid. So that's just trumping some of the reasons why, or when people say like, oh, they shouldn't get paid. I came up with those reasons to kind of counter that. So reasons why they should be paid. So number one, the typical Division I football player devotes over 40 hours to his sport each week, which is like a typical work week. So although college athletes are just students, this is my second point. Although they're just students, the NCAA's own tournament schedules require athletes to miss classes for nationally televised games, which bring in revenue. So they have to miss classes to play their sport. I think that just even I think that just goes towards the point where they should get paid for it. They're putting in this much time and this much effort playing on a national stage. I feel like they should definitely get paid. Um, let's see. Okay, so March Madness. So March Madness is a basketball tournament, um, and a ton of teams. So you get a bracket, and a ton of teams basically they just play each other, and whoever comes out on top obviously wins. So it's a basketball tournament, and it affects more than 6 days of classes for these athletes, which kind of plays upon what I just said before. Um, and that's really about it. I could go on and on and on and on, but it would take me all night. For both sides, really. There's a lot of arguments for both sides. But I mean, in the end, I think paying an athlete would definitely make sense just due to how much time they commit to their sport. And like I said before, they simply need money. Um, Granted, like like I said earlier, they get paid to go to the school. I mean, it's a scholarship, but they still need money. And I feel like if they're missing classes for their sport as well, I feel like that shows like how important the sport is to the school. And I just feel like they should 100% be paid for playing on these teams. So that's really about it. Thank you for watching this, and have a great night.